G'day everyone, welcome to today's video. Thanks for joining me. Today we're at Rexcrail Ford in Geelong. They've kindly given me permission to go around the car yard and have a look at all their models they offer. And I'll point out to you anything interesting, hopefully. Also, I want to cover the topic, which is the main topic for today's video, is the Ranger, 2025's #1 selling car according to the RACV numbers. And looking at the Hilux, which only came third, and why I think that is. So join me today and we'll go have a look and see what they've got to offer. Thanks. Alright guys, so join me with the first car we're going to have a look at today, the Ford Mustang. Absolutely beautiful car in my opinion, such a good car, and it's so good to see a modern brand bring in some great cars to the market today. So we'll go have a look around. Unfortunately, no Dark Horse today. It is a GT. Unfortunately, they had no Dark Horse in the lot today when I come and had a look before. But we'll still have a look around. So obviously, with the GT, it's the 5-litre V8 Coyote. Beautiful, beautiful car. And like I said, I love the new styling of this gen. So go around and have a look. If you follow me, obviously beautiful LED lights. Comes with Pirelli tyres. So it should give you a nice good traction. 255 19s on the front, and on the back we have 275 9 tons the back. So they're a nice fairly wide tyre to keep that power down. Pretty sure they make about 460 horsepower, so it's nothing little for an NA V8. Inside, this one's got the auto 10-speed. Unfortunately no manuals here today as well, which is pretty sad to see, but they always look good on the inside. This one's equipped with a spoiler and is the demo car, which is really cool. You can see the GT here and the iconic Mustang, the 3 strip lights, which look really good in my opinion. And something that I actually love is if you come around the back, you can see it's got quad exhaust, which looks great, and I'm sure give the Mustang a fantastic sound. Hopefully I get to drive one of these one day, give you guys an example of that. Got the big wide hips like the front, from the back, which look great. Spoiler obviously, and this one's equipped with some vinyl sticker stripes, which up to you guys if you like or not. Nice big fake carbon looking plastic skirts. Give it a mean look. Folded in mirrors at the moment because it's parked, which is really cool. And then at the front you've got your bonnet vents, which look tough, and I assume they give you some cooling. That's the first few cars. We've got one in this blue color, another one in this black. The black looks a lot more standard. It's got less options equipped to it, obviously. And then you can really see the difference, hopefully you can see it on camera, is that paint make a big importance on how this car looks and hands up with the weather. So many black spots and dirt marks you can see on the black, whereas on this lighter blue, I'm not sure what color this is actually, I'll have to have a look up. You can see it's a lot more manageable, a lot more cleaner looking, which is really cool. And if you want to have a look at the fuel consumption here, obviously it's a 5-litre NA V8. They are thirsty cars, but I think it's pretty impressive that on the highway they're about 9.4 litres per 100 k's, which is really good. Combined 12.8, which isn't the worst in the world, but definitely it depends on how you use your right foot, guys. So hopefully one day we'll get in one. And yeah, as we come through, there's another Mustang I guys want to show you that I think is a really cool spec actually. It's inside, which is like I'm here on a Sunday where everything's closed, so it's a bit more quieter to film and everything. But if you guys want to have a look at this Mustang, Oxford white, I'm pretty sure the color is, but with bronze as the highlight. So it's got your bronze rims, it's got the bronze badge, bronze 5.0, and I think it's a real classy looking spec. I was a bit doubtful of how white would look on a Mustang, but it's pretty good in my opinion, pretty executive looking. But yeah, I just wanted to show you guys that. So there is variety you can get when speccing a Mustang. It's got the Brembo brakes on it, which is really cool. Yeah, really cool. Another car I'd like to highlight is Ford's #2 selling car from last year in 2025 is the Everest. Pretty cool spec, this one. This is actually a Tremor edition. So, you know, it's your rugged 4x4 concentrated type one. Shares the tremor spec with like a Bronco in America, which is really cool. This has got the 3-litre V6 turbo diesel under it. Really good powertrain, a lot more reliable than the others. So power figures, 184 kilowatts, 600 newton meters, really healthy numbers for a pretty big car in my opinion. So with the tremor, you get a custom interior. It's got tremor all over the seats, leather seats still obviously, and a pretty standard looking dash and steering wheel from Ford these days, which is pretty high tech and I think looks really good. You've got your side steps on the side here. Kind of a look. They are just plastic ones, so beware of that. They're not metal. And then you've got your big giant tires, which is a pretty cool addition. It's got your Grubber AT3s, pretty good tire from what I've heard, and the 265 17s. It's the same all around, so it is a good big square setup. Same as the Rangers and Ford's modern cars, I think really these days. They look tough. They're a great design in my opinion, with these C-shaped headlights. Really American looking car, which I think is a good thing. Big old grille, giant radiator. I hope you can see. Some aux lights here, fog lights down the bottom. Look really good. It is a handsome car in white. And then obviously you got your plastic fenders here. To assume it's to tuck those wheels in. They are pretty fat, big wheels. Come around. Obviously being the Everest, it is a big car. It's got heaps of seat capacity. I think it's standard as 5. But great car in my opinion if you want to like do a tour with the family or something. Yeah, just really good little car. Here we have Ford's Tornado van. Unfortunately, I don't know too much about these. I'm pretty sure they use the 2-litre bi-turbo or single turbo engine, which we will talk about later. They look good, pretty good looking van in my opinion, a lot better than other competitors. But one thing I've noticed that is really weird is this, it stands out really badly, is this weird keyhole. I'm not sure why Ford didn't make it a little bit better, but it's just got this clearly circle thing on it, and it's a bit strange. But I also want to mention the inside of these. They look good. They look like a place I'd want to be if you want to take a drive or if you're working in a fair bit. Big giant screens across the dash. Yeah, looks the insides of Fords has just improved so much ever since the Ford Australia days. In my opinion, they've come out pretty good. Using just Goodyear tires. Another thing I've noticed walking through this car yard is that there are so many different tire options on the vehicles here. We've got Continental, you've got Pirelli, Goodyear, you got grabber ones for the AT, which is, I thought a brand would usually use just one tire, stick to one tire brand, but I think it's good that they're using a lot. So yeah, and then just at the back here, big giant tailgate, flips up, got your reverse camera and all that type of stuff. If you guys are interested in the vans, let me know and I'll see if I can get a hold of one. Very different compared to the one on the side here, which is a Transit Custom, which I think is more tradie focused, more work out of type of thing. I see them in England a lot. They're like the #1 selling van, I'm pretty sure, over there. Also uses the 2-litre engines, which, yep. But yeah. Alright guys, now we're going to start with the first Ranger in the options. The behemoth Ranger Super Duty, obviously a hot topic at the moment. And I just can't believe the actual size of this car. It is a very big unit. And we'll have a look around. This is a beautiful like khaki sand colour, really good. Here you can see it's got the ARB bar fitted to it. Lots of cool options. You can get the aux lights, which are in it here. You've got your winch point here that you can put in. It has a front camera on it, which is really good. And then parking sensors, I think, are a really good idea in your bull bars. They give you proper dimensions of it. Just like the track width of this car is ridiculous. It's such a big car, but it has to be. 4.5 ton towing is the big figure for this car, which is braked obviously, which is really, really cool. So in this, it's the same 3-litre V6 turbo as the Rangers and the Everest, except they've actually turned down the kilowatts. I've just got the figures here. So in the normal ones, you got 184 kilowatts, 600 Newton meters, which is a good, healthy number. But in these, they've been turned down to 154 kilowatts and 600 Newton meters. So a little bit of a kilowatt difference, I think, is for the life of the vehicle. You know, heat management's a thing, how hard it works, that type of stuff. And with pulling such a heavy load, you don't really need that power. I don't think you need more that torque, more that grunt. So I'll go have around. Big giant flares on them now. Believe how big it is, these giant flares. Big old tyres. I think they come up as 33s. 275 wide, which is really, really big. It's actually the same on the back of the Mustangs. Also with the Grabber AT tyres. Not AT3s, these are AT Sports, which I assume they might have more of a load rating for the towing and things like that. You got a marker on the side here, which might be because of how wide it is. Your factory Super Duty snorkel, just plastic and made by Safari, which is really good. Safari, can't speak, sorry guys. Got your side step as well, plastic. If you guys hear that, just a plastic side step. So watch that. We'll come back. We've got the factory fitted tray and the factory optioned water tank, which was really cool. And this squirt bottle, which is different, maybe for your sunscreen, I'm not sure. If you come and have a look in the tray, got this sheet, pretty heavy duty sheet. But having a look at it, it's actually got the screws in it aren't flush, so might catch. And then you've got your tie down points here that are spring loaded, so they fold back down for you. And then you got your windscreen protector on the bottom here. Also, obviously with the tray here, you got your fold down walls, which is really good. Gets things in and out really easy considering how high this is. It is a bit of a step up. This one's been fitted with an upgraded tow pack, it looks like. It's got a big heavy tow ball on it. Like I said, 4.5 ton towing, which is incredible without buying a proper American truck like an F-150 or 250, Silverado, that type of stuff. I think it's pretty cool they tried to make one for our market. What else? We'll come around here to the front, come on the sides. So obviously diesel, same as all the other models. It's the V6 diesel brand. Another thing with this car is because it's diesel and 2026 is all about emissions and future going cars, it does have an AdBlue tank, unfortunately. So make sure you regularly check that and fill that up when it needs it. So stop at your local Caltex or United for those. And then pretty cool on this side, it's got your factory optioned storage box, which is pretty cool to see that more accessories are being optioned for cars like this. With it being such a special car, special vehicle with such a high tow rating, it could be for anything. If you're in a trailer, you got to put your tow ropes, tow straps and stuff in there, you know, whatever you want. So awesome car. It's great to see Ford once again, just like the Mustang, been a specialty sport car, bringing that V8. Ford's listened to its consumers and it's bringing out the Super Duty for people that want to pull stuff, caravans and that type of stuff. And you don't have to, even though these are expensive, these actually start out, I've seen for the XLT, they start out at $999,990. So it is a big hit to your wallet, but it's not like 200 grand, you know, like certain F-150s or 250s, Chevy Silverados, that stuff, where you get your American tax from it being imported over and that type of stuff. And I don't think they're as big, to be honest. It's a bit more compact, still really wide, as you'd expect, but very cool car. All right, guys, second Ranger option here, edition. We got the Raptor. Absolutely iconic, I think, now. being such a widespread vehicle now. They've got the 3-litre V6 EcoBoost, so the petrol one. They've got some great power figures. I'll give them to you now. 292 kilowatts, which is a real good punch in my opinion, and 583 newton meters, exclusively for the Raptor. You can't get it on any other Ranger model. It being like a sporty, you know, full performance focused car. So if we're going to have a walk around, also just like the Super Duty, they are so wide, it's crazy. So you got to remember that if you're driving one, look out for the width of it. Normal Ford LED lights light up the road real good, and then yeah, standard fog lights. Camera at the front here, and then with the Raptors, because it's made to take on speed dirt roads and all that stuff. You got actually a metal bash plate under there, and then big giant radiators behind the grille with the big Ford symbol there, which is very cool. Big giant fat tires on it if you come around the side. BF Goodrich Baja Champion tires, all terrain. 285s all around, so another big giant tire, bigger than the rears of the Mustang GTs, to handle it, gripping the gravel, gripping that dirt, all that stuff with this tire selection. Big flares. These weird things here at the front, maybe, I don't know what they're for. They're a bit weird looking in my opinion. Maybe water, something like that, I'm not sure. These ones, finally, they've got the side steps that are actually metal. Very, very good. Ford actually putting metal on a car. And then you can have a look around here. Big flares at the back. This one's equipped with a ARB roof rack, and actually a shutter, roller shutter in the tub here, which is pretty cool. 2 giant tow hooks on the back if you haven't seen them before, for a recovery, I assume, maybe pulling something. You can tow with these. They're not as much as like the normal Rangers. Maybe, I think they're 2.8 tons, something like that. Not as much, nowhere near as much. Big giant Ranger on the side here with the Raptor, really, really cool. And it's a V6, so dual exhaust to let that puppy breathe a little bit. Very good. Yeah, so I actually think these are really cool cars, guys. I don't think I would get one personally. I'd rather something like a Mustang or something like that. But all the time I see Raptors be used for four-wheel driving, like proper four-wheel driving, like you expect out of a done-up Hilux or a Ranger, or you know, even like 300 series, something like that. It's a bit more capable. These aren't for that. Everyone, I think, gets this wrong. This is a driver car, a performance car. It's for going over dirt really quick, doing jumps, that type of stuff. It's not made for slow crawl stuff. So just remember that if you want to buy one, it's not for that. But really cool car in my opinion. Great powertrain, proven fairly reliable, and they've got so much grunt, and the aftermarket support for these is just growing and growing that I've seen, and you can get some really good numbers out of them. So a really cool car. Alright guys, and finally one of the cars we're going to talk about today is the normal Ranger. Specifically we're going to be talking about comparing the two. Is the XLT Ranger over here, this white one if you can see it, and the SR5. For 2025, according to RACV's numbers, the Ranger was the #1 selling car. Out of all of them, let's have a look here. Sorry guys, give me 1 second. So yeah, 2025, number of cars sold by Ford, 94,399 cars, which is a good amount, decent amount, healthy number. But out of those 94,399, 56,555 were Rangers, which is crazy. Which means out of people that are coming to Ford and buying a car, 59.91% of everyone's choosing the Ranger. And I think that's pretty cool. It's a really successful model and you see them everywhere now. But I want to talk about why they're #1 and say something like the Hilux that Toyota offers isn't. So first of all, I think it's options. Options for the Ranger are insane. You've got so many different models. You've got the specialty cars like the Super Duty now. You've got the Ranger, Raptor, even a plug-in hybrid, which is really cool. But we're talking about the normal one. So you got 10 different options altogether. So you got the XL, XLS, XLT, the Black Edition, the Sports, Wild Track, Platinum, Raptor, Super Duty, and obviously the Storm Track plug-in hybrid. So 10. Compared to the new lineup from Toyota, you can only choose from 5. So cut in half the options from there, and those would be the Workmate, SR, SR5, the Rogue, and the Rugged X. And I've heard that the GR Sport will be coming in 2026, but it's to be announced. Another big thing for the new Hilux and the new Ranger are engine options. You actually can choose and equip 6 different options, engine options in the cars. Some are exclusive, like the plug-in hybrid, the Super Duty, and the Ranger. They've all got their exclusive options. But you've got 2 turbo 4 cylinders, the single turbo and the bi-turbo. You can get the 3-litre V6 turbo diesel, which is, I think, the option to go if you're buying a normal Ranger. And then you've got the EcoBoost petrol 3-litre V6 in the Ranger, Raptor. And then in the plug-in hybrid, you've got a 2.3-litre 4-cylinder turbo, plus a 75 kilowatt motor. And then the Super Duty has got that same 3-litre V6 turbo diesel, but it's just been changed, like I said earlier. It's got that few kilowatts less. Same newton meters though. And the engine options in the new Hiluxes, guys, isn't good. It's one. It's one engine you can get in across all those editions. It's a 2.8 litre 4-cylinder turbo diesel. So it's that by itself in like the Workmate, and then all the models on from that. So in the SR5, in the Rogue, Rugged X, and the SR, they're probably going to be that engine, but with a V-Active, which is just a hybrid system. Doesn't at all change the power figures. You're still stuck with 150 kilowatt and 500 newton meters no matter what you choose. I just think it's just assisting a little bit fuel economy, even though I've seen a few independent tests where it doesn't change the fuel economy. And what it does is, like, when you're sitting at a traffic light and stuff, your engine idle is actually a little lower. It sits at 500 and like instead of 600 RPM. So not sure. We'll have to drive one day and see how it actually stacks up. Also pricing these days is pretty even until you get to the upper models of, say, like the Raptor and the Super Duty. Super Duty is the most expensive. For an XLT Super Duty, like I said, $99,990. Fork out $100 grand before any options, which was pretty crazy. Whereas the top Luxes at the moment for the new ones are the Rogue and the Rugged X. GR Sport hasn't been announced pricing yet, but they're in the $72,000 range. So not as expensive, but obviously everything's expensive these days. So you still got to fork out a bit of change for both cars. Base models. We'll talk about price that I could see and find is, so for the Hilux you get the Workmate, really tradie focused, economic efficiency. So it's a 4x2. You can get it in the manual. Just a normal cab, no super cab or anything dual cab like that. $33,990. And then the base XL model in a Ranger. That's the 2-litre 4-cylinder turbo, 6-speed auto, that type of stuff. Steelies, super basic, cloth interior. That's $33,880 starting. So only $100 difference to like get the bottom tier, which is pretty good. But like I said earlier, they change as you go up the ladder. Another thing. These two cars, I think, are the most widespread cars, obviously being the most popular. But they come with their issues, to be honest, guys. The Ranger specifically. I think Ford would have sold a lot more cars if they didn't accidentally build up a reputation for being pretty problemsome. And that's with 3 things. So it's both 2-litre 4-cylinder engines. Those things use a terrible system for timing. They use a wet belt system. A terrible idea. I assume it was to save money but still be effective, and it's just bit them in the butt, unfortunately. The belt's made of rubber, and it's soaked in oil, and oil will degrade rubber really fast. So you see all over the internet, I've seen these things blow up by 80,000 Ks, that type of stuff. So if you do get a Ranger, I highly suggest opting in that 3-litre V6 turbo diesel. But some good news for 2026, I've heard that they're going to scrap the wet belt system and will be returning to timing change, which is fantastic. And the other issue with these is the 6-speed auto. Pretty big issues with those. Pretty renowned for overheating. The cooling system in those just not up to par, and a little silly in how it's designed. And you see valve body failures, solenoids go out, and just wear and tear too early that shouldn't have happened just from the oil heating up too much. But that's really the main thing. Overall, I think if you opt in the 10-speed, which I heard may be the standard thing coming, they might scrap that 6-speed. Such a solid car. Really good car, good looking car, and they're everywhere. So things like parts, accessories, aftermarket support, that's just going to expand. It's really good. And then compared to the Hilux is what I would call the nostalgia ute. You can still get these things in manual, whereas the Ranger only comes in autos. So you can get a 6-speed manual, 6-speed auto. Both are pretty good units. Not too many issues, honestly, with the transmissions I've heard. The real big thing with the Hiluxes I've heard is if you're not careful, if you're driving it a little blur, and you're not keeping on top of maintenance. I have had the DPF can clog. But everyone knows Toyota, it's the name for reliability, and that's why you pay tax, especially second-hand ones in the reliability of the name. That's why you're paying so much, I think, for the second-hand Toyotas and that still. Also, one thing to criticize on the Hilux is that these things ride stiff. They are not back-friendly cars. I've heard from mates, from customers that I've heard. Even though reliable and they've got that name brand, they're really stiff rides. So don't buy one of these if you've got a crook back or you're starting to crunch over already. So not ideal. Also, not so much the new ones. I still got to look at the new super basic car, to be honest. Tech inside of them's dated. Everything's dated. The inside's dated. But you're still paying that tax, I think, for reliability and that drivetrain. 2.8 litre turbo diesel 4-cylinder is coming for 2026. 150 kilowatts, 500 newton meters. So not as much as the Rangers. So watch out for that. Also, in the upper models, they're going to be chucked on with a hybrid system called V-Active. So just be alert for that. It's going to have a hybrid system. It's got electronics, that type of stuff now. But I'm looking forward to seeing the new ones. I've seen photos of the new ones. I'm going to be honest, I don't think they're as good looking as the Rangers. They've done that thing where they've made a new car look electric. I don't think a ute is the thing you want to look electric. You want it to be tough looking. You want it to be masculine. You want it to be, tough. And I think Ford has won that game with its American type design on the front and all that stuff. So really interesting. So why was the Ranger top selling? And why was this keeping up even though it's the third most selling car? It's not the second. Second actually is the RAV4. Which is pretty funny. So I'll give you the sales numbers before I move through. Toyota, insane year for them. Out of the year, 2025 sales, 239,863 vehicles sold by Toyota, which is outrageous. Number one brand in Australia. We all know why. That reliability of that name. But out of those,
all the Hiluxes got sold was 51,297. So that's only 21.39% of Australia's total vehicle sold market. So it seems like the Hilux is slowly falling behind in its options, but also keeping up, I think, with the older generation. They still like a manual, they still like the basicness, they still like the reliability, that type of stuff. So very interesting to see the race between new and technology versus old and reliable. Very, very cool. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching the video. Any comments, any things you want us to check out? I'm hoping to make a video on Toyotas eventually, but I'd love to get in a car from Rex Grove, which have been so nice to let me film. Great team over there. So yeah, thanks guys, thanks for joining us. Any suggestions of what you want us to see, what you want me to film, want me to look at? I'll be posting car sporting videos in the future. I now have an Instagram and Facebook page as well. Also Ryan's Rides 001, sorry. So check us out and follow us there, subscribe, give us a like, that would be very helpful. And thanks for joining me. We'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks.